We'll move on now to Leisha Wegg, who's the Active Lifestyles Manager, and Gary McDermott, who is the Active Lifestyle Supervisor, who have very kindly come along to talk about physical well-being, which of course we know, and as Claire pointed out so rightly, links together with mental well-being. So I'll hand over to Leisha now and her slides. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Fingers crossed you can see me and you can all hear me. So my name's Leisha and I'm the Active Lifestyles Manager for Move Imperial, and joined by Gary, who is the Active Lifestyle Supervisor. So we're here today to talk about kind of physical well-being and crossing over to well-being, kind of the mental health side as well. We may cross over a little bit of what Claire has said, but any questions, again, we can put that at the end. So should go to the next slide. So in our introduction, what we're going to do today, I'm just going to make sure, 2 seconds, I just can't see my introduction slide. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to go through some meals and recipes. So breakfast, lunch and dinner, meals that are quick, that are healthy, that are nutritious, that are designed for one person, 2 people, the whole family. And we've got some recipes that we'll then link onto snacking, why you should snack, what you should snack on, what you should try and keep away from. Gary will then talk about the workouts and we'll do a bit of practical, so a bit of desk exercise. We will then come back onto wellbeing. So we'll talk about what us Move From Home have been doing, and some extras that we have also been doing, and some question and answers. So just go back a minute. We have been since obviously we've all been on lockdown and been away from Imperial, it's been quite hard for Move Imperial to deliver what we normally do. We're very practical, so we deliver our studio classes, we deliver our programs for Active Imperial, lots of programs that are practical in the studio, and obviously we can't, it's hard to do at home. So when this lockdown happened, we came up with a Move From Home program. So this was a set program, Monday to kind of Sunday, what we would deliver. So there are live workouts, we have workout videos, we have recipes, we have podcasts. We also then do kind of advertise other people's. So we have My Zone that you can do workouts to, live yoga. There may be, for example, I don't know if parents out there have been doing the Joe Wicks workout at 9 AM, but we've put that on our timetable. So we've also been looking at families as well, not just us as individuals, to try and get fit and healthy. So the first bit we'll kind of focus on is meals and recipes. So obviously everyone has kind of their certain go-to breakfasts or any kind of snacks or anything like that. So what I've come up with here, so obviously we all get up, we all have our kind of cereal, so make sure they're high in fibre, they're whole grain, with fruit and semi-skim milk, porridge with raisins and cinnamon for a bit of taste. Kind of, you can use spices instead of putting sugar into your diet. Going back to the high fibre and whole grain, this is good for roughage, good for fibre. Ensure you are having milk for your calcium. Some of you are working out more than you have been, so you need to keep your bones nice and strong. Bread, I know that obviously people may have toast as breakfast, then they might have lunch, they might have a sandwich, and then maybe some bread with their dinner or something like that. So if you're doing that, have low fat spread with jam or crumpets, bit of alternative, with low fat spread, and for example low fat peanut butter. So peanut butter is high in fibre, and it's got some good fats in it. So yeah, that's quite a good thing to have. Make sure you are having lots of fruit. I know it's hard to diet, but again, maybe try and have it with your cereals, have it with some yogurt, have it in smoothies. Really good idea is to buy fruit frozen. I know some people think, oh, it's not as fresh as it's frozen, but technically it is, because it's picked straight away and then frozen, so the nutrition is still in there. If you are cooking, I know some of us fry stuff. Try and boil, poach or grill a lot of your stuff. So you can boil meat, you can boil eggs, you can poach meat, you can poach eggs, and you can grill meat as well. So a lot of when you grill meat, the fat will then come off. Drinks. So hydration is really important. I know some people think that if they're not exercising, they don't need, haven't exercised today, so I haven't sweated, so I don't need a lot of liquid. You do actually need 8 glasses of water a day, and I know that's quite hard. I know some people have got the water bottles that have kind of 8 a.m, 11 a.m, 12 p.m, 2 p.m, and they have to kind of stick to that, to what they want to drink. So that's a really good idea. If you do struggle with trying to get the hydration in, that would be a really good idea for you to buy. Large glass of water with lemon juice. So I know that some people have squash, which can also have sugar in, but there are sugar-free squashes. Tea or coffee. I'm sure lots of us are having way more tea and coffee than we normally would at work. So try and keep kind of maybe decaf. I know Claire spoke about that a lot of people are struggling to sleep at the moment. So having decaf coffee with skimmed milk, or even herbal or fruit tea. So entirely up to you what you want to do. So on our move from home pages, I don't know if any of you follow, so if you could search us right now. So if you went on Instagram, type in Move Imperial, or Twitter or Facebook, these are some of the recipes that have already been put on, which we have designed as Move Imperial, and these will also be being promoted in May as well. So we've got berry smoothie bowl. Just on that, actually, all of the recipes and the methods will be on there as well. This is just kind of a screenshot of what we have been doing. So berry smoothie bowl. We've got meals, so we've got easy vegan sweet potato curry, and then we've got some snacks. So we've got cauliflower hash browns, protein balls, and healthy granola bars. The other 2 images in the middle are actually meals that I have cooked myself. So the pancake meal, which is to the left, top left in the middle, is by Joe Wicks. It's his family and friends books, and all of these books are available online as well. These meals are really good. They serve from 2 to kind of 6 to 8 people. Everyone with families. They're really quick, they're really healthy, they're really nutritious. These are actually pancakes, American style, and there's fruit and yogurt on top. So again, that's another way of getting fruit into your diet. And the curry on the top row as well, that's by it's actually a vegetarian curry, but I did put chicken in it, but you can, it's entirely up to you guys how you want to do it. You can take it out. That's a book by, it's called Bosch. So these meals, I think they took about 20 minutes to make. The low sugar protein balls, they take about 10 minutes to make and about half an hour to freeze. So it's just kind of what you guys want to do, and how you want to get your nutrition in. So, but all on our Move from Home website, which we have all that at the end as well. We have all of these on there. And again, if you are stuck for any recipes, or you think, oh, how can I get going back to children, how to get my children to eat more fruit and veg, let us know and we can help with any of that. So I'll pass over to Gary for our active round.
Hi, hello everyone. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of active round today. It's not going to be too high intense, so don't worry. But what we're going to look at is a form of stretching while we're at home working. So because everyone's working from home, a lot of people's workspace has changed dramatically. So we've gone from working from PCs that have been set up correctly to now using laptops. And so a lot of the questions that I get are due to postural problems. So people tend to find they're experiencing neck pain and then pain through the tracts. And mainly what that's due to is just the workspace not being set up and maybe it all being a little bit hunched over. So all I'm going to do today, I'm going to go through some simple stretches that you can do just to alleviate pressure from our shoulders and neck, and a little bit of our hips as well. That you can do, I would suggest probably between an hour and a half to every 2 hours if you're working. It's just good to get away for say 10 to 15 minutes, do these stretches, and then loosen up the joints. I'll also then really quickly at the end, we go through some leg stretches, because I know obviously now with the 1 hour of exercise a day, everyone's become a marathon runner, and so I've gone out there and started running. But what a lot of people forget about is the stretching and stuff that we need to do afterwards, just to look after our hips and on our legs. So I'm going to get started. I'm just going to swivel my chair so you can see me from the side. Cool. And then we're going to just get set for our first stretch. So all we're going to do for this, with my chin, I'm going to hold my chin into my chest, just like here, and I'm going to slowly roll my chin up to my shoulder. Okay. And then what we're looking to do here, as I've rolled here, you don't want to put too much tension through, but you should feel this muscle here contract. Okay. Then we're going to take it all the way back over to the other side. And we're going to do 2 more. As you do this, just make sure your chin is just as close to your chest as you can. Up through there. Perfect. So we're then going to bring, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my hands to the top of my head, so just by my crown, marks by my ponytail. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly roll my head forward to stretch these muscles at the back. So I don't pull my head down. I'm here and I slowly roll forward. And what that does, you should feel again the tension. So when we're doing these exercises, if you keep doing them, you want to just make sure there is no pain. So all you want to feel is a stretch in the muscle, but it shouldn't be a painful stretch or a painful sensation. From your head here, I'm going to come up and I'm going to point my elbows to the ceiling. So what we're doing here, really open up the chest, open up the shoulder blades into the scapula, and I'm going to come all the way back down again. Triceps into chest, and then one last one. We come all the way back up again. Up. So you really want to try as much as you can to get the elbow up high, have a curve in the back. Perfect, and come down. So we're going to move now more onto the shoulders. So the problem with a lot of remote working when we're working at home is we tend to find we spend a lot of time in this position. So usually we have our desktop or our PC lower than where we should be sitting, and so we have this curvature of the spine, which I find I have to deal with a lot of people that come into EFOS. So what we're going to look at doing now is just stretching these shoulders and relieving the tension from the back. So first thing we want to do, we want to get into what's called a secure shoulder position. So if you've ever done if you've been to EFOS and you've done any of my weightlifting classes, you know I talk about this all the time. So what I'm going to do, stand up nice and straight, chest up, and with my shoulders, I bring my shoulders first forward, then up, and then I drop them back. Okay. When you do this, you should feel as you drop back, your shoulder blades should come together, and you should then have a nice, strong feeling through the mid back. Okay. So we're just going to get into that position, up, back, down. Okay. So all of a sudden, posture's improved. Now, I'm not suggesting you should always be like this as you walk around, but it's important when you're typing, especially, that you do bear in mind that every 10, 15, 20 minutes, you are checking that your posture's not like so, okay? Or that you haven't fallen into that bad form. Back into this position though, all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my arms up, and then I'm going to allow them to come forward now. And so where we had it from this position, shoulder blades and scapula together, now we're releasing them, so we're pushing them out. So I push out, keeping my shoulder quite low. And then let's go back into that position we're in. So we go up now, shoulders down, back, chest up. And then last one, we're going to come forward, just a stretch. Perfect. And then shake off. So still, again, we're still looking at the shoulders. Quite a classic stretch, and it's also a good way to test what your shoulder mobility is like, or if you've got any tightness. It's a classic old school one this. So with my left hand, I put my left hand into my back, so I will turn this in. And then with my other hand, I will bring it up, down, and I'll try to get my hands close together as possible. Tip to remember when you do this, you want to try and make sure your elbow, the elbow that's in the air, so for it'll be this one, is right up just by your ear. And then you want to switch other side. So one of the reasons I get to do people to do this, because the shoulder is quite a complicated joint, so it's, a lot of ball and socket joints are, you can have weaker muscles or ligaments in there, and so if you've got like a weak point, that's usually when you're doing like a big lift, that's usually the part that breaks. So exercises like this, have a feel for your shoulder, see if you can feel any bits that are tight, or is there any bits that are painful, and that'll give you a good education of what's going on in your shoulder joint, and then you can work on specific stretches just for that. One of my favorite ones that I do, especially for the shoulder, is we get my fist and I put into the small of my back, okay? And what that creates is a nice elbow, a nice my elbow, sorry, lever point, one word. Keeping my fist into my back, very lightly pull the elbow forward and then relax. And you should feel stretch quite deep into the shoulder. Cool. And then we reverse that, stretch that off into the other side. Cool. Once you've done that, all we're going to do is the classic PT stretch, or PE stretch, should I say. I'm going to get back into my strong shoulder position. I'm going to bring my arm across. I'm going to hook my elbow, and I'm going to pull. Okay, so tips with this one. I can see some of my colleagues on here actually who've done exactly what I thought they would do. You want to make sure that you keep your shoulder dropped. So the moment when we stretch our arm across, we have a tendency to push it up into our neck, like we put ourselves in a headlock. But you want to make sure that it's straight, and as you pull across, you're nice and square. The reason I trap the elbow with my forearm is because it gives me a nice little lever point. Okay, so I'm not putting myself this way, my shoulder stays square, I can put some tension in there. So, cool. To stretch off. Okay guys, so that was just a little bit of shoulder. What I'm going to move on to now is just a little bit of hip health, okay? So like I said at the beginning, I know a lot of people have decided to either go for a cycle or a run on their 1 hour day of exercise, which is perfect. I think it's great that everyone's getting involved in that. But what we still need to look at is that stretching afterwards, or making sure that as we're repeating these exercises, we're not making ourselves tight or getting tight muscles, because that in turn is the thing that causes injuries afterwards. So first I'm going to look for, and we're just going to quickly talk about cycling. One of the big problems that I see a lot from cycling is everyone tends to get very quad dominant. So depending on if you wear cleats or not, if you do wear cleats, it's kind of less likely because you can get that pull of the pedals. But if you're mainly just a standard push bike, you tend to use your quads more than your hamstrings when you cycle. So the first stretch we're going to look at, again, is a bit of a classic. I just took my camera so you can hopefully see me. Okay, so I'm going to have my chair, just like so. And all I'm going to do, quick classic, I'm going to bring my foot up, and I'm going to pull my ankle into my glutes. And then, most importantly, I tend to keep my knees together, okay? If you want to intensify this stretch to feel a little bit more, what I do is I push my hips forward, and that increases the tension in the stretch. What you don't want to do, which is quite classic, is pull the leg back. So I see a lot of people do this to try and intensify the stretch. It's actually more beneficial if you push your hips forward and you keep in this strong position. If you struggle to pull your leg back, like I've got here, I've got a chair, I just put my foot on the chair. Again, I keep my knees together and I push my hips forward. Sorry, I'm in my kitchen, so it's a bit hard. Second stretch you're going to do, so this is quite a deeper stretch. Again, I start from the same position, so I'm going to put my foot on, but this time, from the lunge, I'm going to drop my weight down, and I'm just going to hold. So this is a really deep stretch through the quads and the hips. Again, I keep my hips forward, and I stay here. So you'll tend to find that's what I call quite a deep stretch. So increase the depth down if you can. Try and get to the point where your knee can touch the floor, and that'll really intensify the stretch. Okay. Your last one. I do like the chair. All we're going to do is that you're going to bring your foot forward. If you can see, I bring my leg up and out, up and out. With this stretch, it's what's called a dynamic stretch. So I'm not holding position. I've used momentum to get stretch just at the top. So rather than I hold like so a static stretch, but this time I bring it out and I swing out, up and swing out. And then what I'm trying to do there is really get the stretch into the hips. So yeah, sorry, I'm back. So yeah, guys, so that's mainly it. All we wanted to really do is the importance of mobility. So for a lot of people, they're probably more active than they've been before, but it's still good to look after your body just to make sure you're doing the right things. So going on to my next slide, I've got the Move from Home timetable. So what we've done at Move, we've created loads of different workouts and different things that you can do from home. So you're still active while we're in lockdown, basically. So we have a whole timetable. I teach online classes every Monday and Saturday, and then it might not be on this week, but we've just got one of our S&C coaches who's going to be doing more, again, a mobility class like I just did there, every Wednesday. But make sure you just check that online. We also get a ton of useful apps on our website. So we have the Move Imperial app, but we still have quite a few different apps that you could go to. Not so much always on physical health. So we've got a lot of stuff to do with meditation and self-help and fun stuff to do. So it's not just, people. I don't really want people to think of fitness as boring or fitness as something that should be dull. We've got quite a different few things up there that spice it up a little bit. One of the questions we've got before is how to get young children involved in the workouts. We've done quite a few things on that, of different games and stuff you could do to make the workouts fun. A lot of stuff to do with kind of nutrition and cooking and things like that you could bring your children into so they can be a part of it as well. The last one, we've got the additional fitness resources. So not only are we using us or doing what we're putting on classes, we've also got a select few people that we've kind of said that these guys are good. So things like Joe Wicks, you can do his workout, and we just give you some different ideas. There are some yoga, I think it's Core I think the company's called, that do a lot of our yoga classes as well. And lastly, to make it fun, we also have done quite a few different workout playlists. Okay, so we've got some music together that we hope we find is motivating and that you can do your class too. Okay, so not only for if you want to do meditate, we've got some meditation ones, and then we've got a lot of different dance music sort of stuff, just to get you motivated, make it a little bit more fun. And then when we are back at Ethos, you can tell me I'm a terrible DJ. So I don't know. Okay, so that's it from me at the moment. If you do have any questions, just ping them in at the end, and I'll hopefully answer them. So Alicia, back to you.
Perfect, thank you, Gary. Right, just to the next slide. My computer seemed to freeze. Oh, perfect. So going on to wellbeing. Now this is where it may cross over with what Claire spoke about earlier. So a few things that we believe is essential for good wellbeing. So structure. It is really, really good to have structure. So I like structure, and I think I have missed, getting up early, getting on the tube, as much as everyone probably hates getting on the tube. Getting into that routine is something like Claire also said, we're a creature of habits, and we like to have a routine. It sets us up for the day. We know what we're doing, when and where. So bit of a structure. So still, you set your alarm. I know most of us aren't getting up at the crack of dawn. We're getting up probably 8:30, starting work at 9. So make sure you've got your alarm set. It'll get you into a routine as well of getting up. I know a few of us have probably had some late nights, but still get up at the same time. It will get your kind of body into a good routine. Make sure you have breakfast. We obviously suggested some things that you could have. Exercise is crucial. Gary's gone over a few things, and we also deliver. It releases endorphins, which actually make you feel better, even if it's a 2-minute walk, even if it's half marathon, a bike, a home workout. It will 100% make you feel better. Have lunch. Make sure you, I know a few of us, I'm probably guilty of it as well, eat at your desk at work. Try and get away from your computer at home, because you can. Try and take 10-20 minutes away from the computer, have lunch, and then go back. Healthy snacks. I know a few of us are going to the fridge every 3 minutes at the moment. We have obviously put some healthy snacks, what we would have. Again, if you had any questions about it, send it in to us. Myself and Gary can help. And a lot of Google is a really good source of healthy snacks, not just for adults but for kids as well, because I know they're probably eating people at house and home at the moment. Set a bedtime just like you would set an alarm, and try and have no technology after 9 p.m. Try and put your phone down, try and turn your TV off, and try and have a book. It will just relax you as well. We at Move Imperial have promoted some self-care, so I call them self-care Sundays. So maybe on a Sunday that, you know, paint your nails, go for that walk, call your friends, catch up on TV, have a bubble bath. I think it's every Thursday, Radio 1 host a big bath club. So if you wanted a bath at 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, you can then get in the bath and listen to Radio 1, and it is actually a really good couple of hours what they promote. Stay connected. So we obviously have Zoom, we have Microsoft Teams, we have FaceTime, we have House Party, anything like that. And it is really good, like Claire mentioned, to still be social. We obviously can't actually connect to people, but you can still speak to them via all of the social media platforms. We have a few podcasts that we have put out from Move Imperial. So we've done a few Radio 1s. Fern Cotton has a podcast called The Happy Place, which is, she's met some kind of really inspirational people, from I think Tom Jones to footballers to actors. And she has an interview with them about what makes them happy in life. And I think that's really good. You have to have a what makes you happy. So have a little listen to that. We have on BBC iPlayer Sounds. There's some really good things on there for anyone, even for children. So take a little look on there. Prioritise self-care, like we mentioned earlier. The happy news. Now, I don't know if anyone has heard of this. Again, if you've got your phone out right now, you can search her on Twitter and Instagram. Her name is Emily Coxhead. Now, she is the creator of called The Happy News. So she invented a newspaper, and it's only happy news. There's nothing sad in it. And I think at this time, in the current climate, it's really good just to, you know, we have the coronavirus update every day, and it's not great news at the moment. So I think have a little look at Emily Coxhead. She does some really good stuff, and some of it's funny. So have a little look at that. Meditate and time alone. We have got, like Gary mentioned, we've got some meditation apps. So go on our Move From Home page, which on the next few slides, our website will be on there. You can have a little look at. Now, I don't know if a lot of you do this journaling. So at the moment, you know, coronavirus will be gone whenever it will be gone. But it may be a good chance to have a little look at, write down what your journal, how you were feeling, what happened in that week, because looking back in a few years time, this will kind of be non-existent, and you will think, oh yeah, when that was on, I did this. Healthy food, what you put in your body is going to make you feel better. Again, we have lots of recipes. Anything that you want, we can kind of provide. Any advice you want, again, take a look at our social media. All of our recipes, snacks and ingredients and everything are on there, and ask for our help as well. So we have a few extras. So Move Imperial host every Monday to Friday. We host our coffee catch-up calls. So these are at 11 a.m. And Friday we do a quiz. So I'm on there pretty much, well, every single day. We're joined by a lot of Move staff, a few other people, and again, it is open to everyone. These post out on our Twitter every single day, so you can just click the Microsoft Teams link and it will take you to the call. So it's really good to have a chat about absolutely anything. So I think we've spoken about Netflix box sets, what people have had for their dinner, what we watched on TV last night, and the quizzes are quite good as well. So the quiz is based on anything, but the winner of the quiz then hosts it the next week. We have on Twitter and Instagram, we have question and answers every Wednesday, 12 to 1. So again, I go live on there. So any questions at all, send them in and we will answer them. We have Feel Good Friday content. So all of this every Friday we post something out that makes you feel better. So we had the happy news, we've had podcasts based on laughter, we've had treats that you may want to make the kids or yourself, so a few recipes of baking at the weekend. Gary said about a playlist, so Move Imperial produced 3 playlists that you can find on Spotify, and they are Move Imperial's Top 20, Chill and Unwind, and Hit Workout. So again, they're on kind of the left-hand tab when you go on our Move From Home website. The happiness, which I spoke about with Fern Cotton, and we've got some games that are free for you, if you want to take 10 minutes out for you to have a little look at. We've got some educational content for the children, BBC Bite Size. I think they gathered together 14 weeks worth of content for children. Obviously, they're not at school at the moment. We've got recipes, live workouts, like Gary mentioned, and all of the apps. So you can see our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook handles at the bottom. So have a little look, give us a follow, and all our content will be pushed out on there. So this is what our website looks like. We are having this updated at the moment. So if you go on the website at the top, the Move From Home tab at the top on the left hand side, you've got useful apps, get the kids involved, additional fitness resources and workout playlists. So if you click on there, everything will be on there. And again, this will be updated kind of as the days go past. So any questions?
Thank you very much, both of you. Certainly when I was doing those exercises, I could tell that I was tense in exactly the places that you predicted I'd be tensed, Gary. So you were spot on there, and I'm sure the posture is the problem. So firstly, a suggestion actually from Nahal. He says that there's a timer called Work Rave that you can use to alert you to take rest from screen every 20 to 30 minutes when you could do your exercises. So thanks for that advice. Someone else just wants to comment, there are great exercises. Anonymous wants to know, they're trying to figure out about breathing during exercising, when to breathe in and when to breathe out during stretching or relaxation. Does it matter? Is there a pattern?
Yeah. Hello?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Sorry. Yeah. Generally, there is. It all depends on kind of what exercises that you're doing. So something like running, or kind of low level cardio like that, you tend to just use tidal breathing. The rule of thumb, if you're doing anything weight related, is that as you push out or as you pull, so as you contract the muscles, you breathe out. So you breathe in on, say, the slow part, and you breathe out as you push out. So that's it really. Through stretching, again, you would breathe in as you contract the muscles, so as you pull the stretch in, and then breathe out when you relax. So yeah, I hope that answers. It's only really a big thing if you were to get involved in lots of weightlifting. The rule of thumb is that you hold air into your lungs as you pick the big weight up, because the theory is that then strengthens the core a little bit. I'm not sure what the massive science is in that, but if you were to imagine holding weight here, you fill your whole body with air, and it tends to fill the muscles in your core. So yeah, that's fantastic. That answers the question.
I'd like to ask a question to all three of you actually. Pre-lockdown, life is always stressful for everyone, but pre-lockdown there was a division of my life in terms of I was at work, and then I had a period of commuting where I could kind of wind down, and then I'd preserve the period when I got home to spend with my kids, and then sometimes I'd work again in the evening, but at least my life was divided up. And one of the things I'm finding hardest is life has become one big mush of sort of stresses and competing distractions, because I'm helping the kids with their schooling whilst trying to answer emails. There's no commute to wind down in. I try and divide up the day, but it's just so much harder when you're working from home and the kids are at home. Is there any advice any of you can give for that? Anything you'd suggest for that?
I mean, the whole community, what people do wind down from it, kind of catching up on the news, going to work and then winding down, checking social media after. I think, and again, like you said, it is becoming a bit of a mushed all into one. I think if your kids get up early enough with you, maybe go for a walk. So then it would be, sometimes they might walk to school and you might walk to the tube. So have that as your kind of pretend pretend commute. And then again, once you finish work and once they've finished their homeschooling, go for another walk, because it kind of splits up that you've done your day and then you've got something else to do. I don't know if Gary or Claire have any kind of other ideas.
I can see Gary's hand moving, so you're going to.
So I felt like I was in school. I think what I've been doing a lot is, so there's 4 of us that live in my flat with me, and what we found really helpful is we all have sort of a structure, but also communication. So we're very honest with each other. So if we are feeling that we've got an important bit of work to complete, we just talk to each other and be like, you know, can we leave me alone for half an hour, or you stay in that room for half an hour and I'm going to stay here and work. And that's been really helpful for us. And then in terms of the structure as well, I think you have to be quite strict with yourself. So if you're giving yourself, you know, half an hour or an hour to answer your emails in the morning, then you need to give yourself just those half an hour, and then go and do your hour exercise a day, or go on to another task. I think that's the most important thing. And then again, just communication with your family as well, and just to let them know, you know, that in these times everyone's struggling, so it's important that we do things for each other to help. So yeah, just structure and discipline, really, I would say.
Excellent. Claire?
Yeah, I mean, I empathise with you, Chris, because I've had a sense of that kind of blended mushiness of the day. Everything just goes from one thing into the other, and before you know it, I kind of get up from the kitchen table and I'm go to bed. I just think, what have I actually done? Even though I've been working very hard. It's trying to get that sense of satisfaction in all the areas of your life, and just kind of manage your expectations. But I would say, just echo what Alicia and Gary said about compartmentalization, as boring as it sounds. The only thing that I found that's working for me is I get up at Monday to Friday, I get up at the same time, as boring as that is, to create that structure. Even though I might think, I get away with sleeping in for another hour, to try and keep that body clock right and healthy, and to make sure that I have a deeper sleep at night. I get up at the same time every day. Unfortunately, I do get dressed for work clothes. I mean, I'm dressed exactly as I'd be dressed at South Ken in my work clothes. And otherwise you end up doing your working day in your pajamas, or your kind of your trackies. And whilst it might be great, there is a sense of kind of you're not in that role, and when you need to kind of compartmentalize yourself and put yourself in the work role. So I think, for me, I get changed, I get dressed, I arrive at the kitchen table, I haven't traveled that far, and start my working day. And what I've done with my team as well is, they don't keep the same hours that they would keep if they were at South Ken or wherever else they would be, is they've rejigged their day to make sure that maybe the commute they were doing, they then do their either time with the children, because the children are waking up earlier for my team that have got kids, or they're doing something for themselves. So they get up early, and from 7 until 8:30, they're actually doing a workout, or they're going for a walk, or they're getting on the mountain bike. And they're doing something for them. So I think it's really important that even depending on whatever's happening in your life, you're a carer, you've got kids, you're in a relationship, you do something for yourself every single day to keep your mental health really balanced. And you can kind of tick that box and feel good about yourself, and you have time away from everything that's happening in the house. And then you arrive at your working desk or your sofa, wherever you're going to do your work, and you're kind of in that frame of mind, and you're dressed and you're psychologically in that frame of mind. And then I think what's really important is to psychologically and physically detach from work and leave work wherever it is, kitchen table, wherever it is. And physically I would change and get changed into something relaxing and not work related, and leave work there. And also, just something to pick up on what Leisha was saying, is it's the whole vicarious traumatization. So I'd be limiting the amount of COVID-19 social media stuff that we're watching, because there's a real reality of this vicarious traumatization. We absorb like little sponges all the kind of the health anxiety, and it just kind of feeds in, and we hold on to it. So I would limit how much of that you're actually taking in every day.
Fantastic.
Sorry. kind of gone over
on
something
that
else.
topic, actually, I was involved in, some of you may know, an initiative set up by the Surgery and Cancer called Pan-Surge, which is looking at a series of webinars on the topic of COVID-19. We actually did one of them on Wellbeing, and we'll put the link on there so that you can download it. And one of the things we talked about was overloading on COVID-19 sometimes can be very detrimental to your health. I just want to say a massive thank you. We've overrun because you guys have fitted so much into your sections, so thank you for that. Thank you very much for the practical advice that you gave rather than the sort of theoretical stuff, because that was so useful for me personally, and I think for everyone who's listening.